almost did not see you.
I will cry on your tiny body.
Let us continue.
How may I serve?
You have slain Kern. I now have the peace of mind to know that my wife's murderer is no longer around to torment her grave. I cannot thank you enough. I have little of my own, but take these. The gauntlets I wore when I first started carving stone. May they serve you. I miss her every day, but there is some small comfort in knowing that her death has been avenged. Take care.
You have come again. Is there... Very well. I shall endeavor to...
I almost did not see you. Well done, Beckend. The masons tell me the pressure in the cisterns has yielded. It seems we have you to thank yet again. Please take this in thanks. Well, I expect that someone in the teeth got a nasty shock if they were hit with the runoff from the cisterns. Thank you for your help. Greetings, Beckoned. How...
Another day in this...
Let us...
Mind your step here, Beckoned. I wouldn't want the Colosse's failure to claim any more lives than it already has. It is not here by choice. Or our choice, anyways. Such questions would be better suited for the Primos. Suffice it to say that this was made in anticipation of something that never occurred. Farewell. What can I do? Beyond these stairs is the sanctuary of the Primos, the leader of the Colossi people in the teeth of Naros. I must warn you, Anakotos has not left these quarters in years. He vowed to never cease his prayers until the gods answered them, and his people have languished for it. But I think his answer has finally arrived. Speak to him, Beckoned. His people have need of him. After years in his sanctum, I doubt he is the Primos I once knew. But though we all languish in the god's absence, none suffer as he does. He will likely see you as the answer to his prayers. Farewell.
I am steward to the Primos himself. I assist Anakotos in the running of this office in the city, though he rarely gives me much to do. I understand you are not of our lands, and thus, if you have any questions regarding my people or Idylla, I would be glad to answer them. The Primos attends to his own affairs. I am usually wanting for additional tasks. Anakotos is most secretive compared to his predecessor, who was killed in the Hyperion tragedy. Still, he is our best hope for the Colossi to realize our goals. It is the greatest city ever built. The gods themselves requested we built it to test our faith. The city soars above the ground, as you have seen, but it is not yet complete. Who knows if it ever will be? The greatest of us are nearly gods, and had the gods not shown us this, we might never have reached the state you see us in now. An odd question. They are gods. It is common knowledge that they are the creators of the Colossi, the creators of this world and everything in it. The great Athene is among their kind, and she has given us the task of inheriting the Titan's legacy now that they have ascended from this world. I wish you well, Mildred.
And though the path be fraught with tribulation, know that it leads to the land of our greatness, and that we walk it with you. Such were the words the gods spoke to the progenitor of my race when they sought to guide us from our base origins into a fruition of potential. The words have been in my heart every day of my reign, but now they are embodied. Welcome, beckoned. At last, this city will be complete. Because we are all of us, my whole people, incomplete. Because we are not worthy enough, not deserving enough to see such wonders of the gods. And I thought that failure was a finality. I have prayed to the gods in seclusion in hopes of an answer, but they were as quiet as the silent choir. Now the beckoned is come. With you, the gods can bear witness to us atoning for our inadequacies. We must start at once, beginning with the wreath of absolution. Something no Primos would ever wish to wear. They are only made in times of great need, when we must prove to the gods our devotion. The wreath of absolution can only be created from the hands guided by Athene. I must ask you to assemble it. First, a golden prayer circlet is needed to serve as its base. The art of crafting one is all but lost to us, but I require one all the same. The last Primos to wear a wreath of absolution, Arches, is buried with one such circlet. Secandra led you to me, did she not? Then she will lead you to the circlet. It lies in his crypt, in the darkest pits beneath the city. They are old halls, and they have fallen into disuse. I understand there might be trepidations in taking such an artifact from my predecessor's crypt, but I assure you, it is ordained. The times we have arrived at are desperate, and when the heavens show their intent, one cannot stand too much on ceremony. I am the Primos of the Colossi people. As I lead them in politics, I lead them in prayer. He led my people into the times that you see today. The gods did not favor his reign, clearly. Many are the artifacts strewn throughout this world, but the cipher of Athene, I have seen its outline traced in tomes and scrolls, but never in person. Bearing it makes you an embodiment of her power, beckoned. She sees and hears through you. The messenger of the gods, one summoned to bring the word of faith back to our people. I always assumed that the beckoned would be one of my own kind, but you bear the cipher. Your role cannot be made more clear. This land is the crucible by which my people might be forged to their new destiny. Vicious and inhospitable, it rebukes my people's every step. This land is the silent choir is a group of our most faithful followers, and serve me as I serve the gods. So deep is their faith that they never speak upon entering service. The Colossi are the children of the Titans. We are the inheritors of their will, and we are the ones that will shepherd this world into a new age. The goddess has shepherded my people for generations. She was responsible for the growth of my people. Somehow, we were found unworthy of her. I have prayed to learn why, but her anger must be far too great. This is greater than any city or any temple that you will find in this world. Of that I assure you. But the city, though magnificent, is only half completed. We must act.
You return. Well, the Primos has not graced the ears of his subjects in ages. What has he said to you? The circlet of Arcase. And Anakatos expects me to lead you to it? Has his reclusion left him senseless? Has he forgotten his history as well as his people? Very well. As I cannot refuse the Primos, I will meet you in the crypts in the undersewers of the city. Let us deal with this as quickly as possible. We can find it in the crypts beneath the city's sewers. They are old structures, forgotten as the city was built above them. You are the first to hear his voice in some time. I almost thought he would join his acolytes in their silent pact. But his prolonged absence from his people has taken its toll on his judgment. Does the crypt of Arcase have no sanctity to him? I've had chances to speak of Arcase before, but it is not fitting for me to discuss him. Not now. Be cautious in these lands. There are worse things than marauders in these lower tunnels. They have lurked these walls for decades, raised along with the city years ago. I just want this done with. There. That is the artifact you seek. The Circlet of Arcades. By taking it, Arcades' grave becomes an empty tomb. Let us depart. Onakatos has had his fun with me, and there is nothing left to plunder. It is nothing I can share with you, Beckoned. It is not worth your time. I always thought that were I to come to Arcades' crypt, it would be because of the work of gods alone. And here I am, by the will of none but Onakatos, flesh and blood. I cannot! I will not! Even after all these years, he has not forgotten his brand of viciousness. He knows I must obey his command. I apologize for my outbursts. However, it can be hard to let convictions go. But we must. We must. Take the circlet back to Onakatos. He is most likely waiting for you. Farewell. No one comes down here anymore. It is left to ruin, for the Colossi have no more need of these halls, or those interred within them. How
The Beckett.
Blessings to you.
You bear the circlet of Arcades. Then the wreath is almost complete. The foundation is gold with runes of prayer, as I said. Now, it must be woven with blood and toil. The Colossi furnish the foundation and nature furnishes the trappings. The laurels of the wreath are not crafted, but earned. We seek Teryx veins. Once they are ours, once the wreath is complete, the ritual of atonement can begin. I take it you have encountered a Teryx before. Likely the mongrel, carrion-eating scavengers that plague us. They are a common foe. We seek the veins of the Alpha Teryx. They are fierce and proud, all that is wild and savage in nature. To prove to the gods the righteousness of our faith, then we must conquer a mighty foe. They will serve. The gods sent you to bear witness to our atonement. To do that, we must complete the wreath of absolution. The wreath is made from the large feathers, the veins of the Teryx Alphas. They live in Eris to the south. They are vicious beasts, wild and strong. The Alphas, our quarry, are particularly fierce. Very well, Beckett. We are here. That is good. I feel hope stirring in my veins once more. It is the prospect of reconciliation that has granted me a second youth. Come. We must kill the alphas of each Eyrie. With their veins in hand, we shall fulfill the gods' wishes. The Teryx Eyries lie in the wilds of the teeth of Naros, to the south of the city. We need not look far to find what we seek. But while there are many lesser Teryx here, we seek only the plumage of their strongest and brightest. These are the true challenge. We must act. Feel Balin's embrace. Feel Balin's embrace. Circlet must be built. Thus we begin. And as we harvest these trophies, you shall learn the journey the Colossi have taken to get here. Once we were but savages, no better than the other giant kin. We were called Myru, and to that identity we were chained, until one day, Athene spoke to us. She spoke of a destiny and greatness that was not ours, but could be. She showed us the path of ascension, and we followed it here, to the teeth of Naros. No, we are far from the homeland of our ancestors. Undoubtedly the gods wished us to renounce our savage history. It was necessary. Though the Jotun and Etin once regarded us as kin, they grew jealous of us, of the strength we gained from the gods' favor. Tensions rose to war. It was a sign from Athene to my people to seek a new homeland, where the bounty of her wisdom could be harvested eternally. Very well, beckoned. Feel my wrath! Circlet must be built. We wandered the teeth of Naros in search of the homeland we were promised. And when hope seemed lost, we found the Hyperion. It was a divine artifact. No mortal hand could have crafted it, a massive stone, alone in the wilderness, with the image of a floating city engraved upon its surface. At the city's heart was the Hyperion itself. We knew then Athene was tasking us to craft this wondrous city, to form a covenant. But we betrayed that ideal. To test our worthiness, the gods have strewn throughout Amalur riddles, puzzles, and challenges. Answering them demonstrates our greatness. The Hyperion is one such challenge. Perhaps the greatest of them. And though we discovered it years before, we still do not have the answer. We must act. Feel my wrath! Feel Balin's embrace! Feel my wrath! In the end, the city rose, but the Hyperion did not follow. The heart of the city remained unmoved. That we could not abide. My predecessor, Arche, sought to force the Hyperion up, but the Hyperion rejected him, killing him and his followers, and sealed itself away. Our work here is concluded. As a show of thanks, take these. The Terriks are mighty, and their hides light but strong. These will serve you well. I must make the gods see that my people can be redeemed for the faults of Arches. With the wreath in hand, I can conduct a ritual of atonement. As you bear the cipher, the conduit to the gods, you will bear witness. Come, we must conduct this ceremony at the site of our original transgression. Let us go to the Hyperion. If it will not, then why were you brought to me? To give pretense to salvation, to raise our hopes, only to crush them with failure? I know the gods of my forerunners. They would not flaunt the answer to their riddles without sharing it. Now come. The Hyperion awaits. The cipher you carry is a conduit to the gods, to their wisdom, their judgment, and their power. You carry it, and thus you are their intermediary. Since you will bear witness to the ritual of atonement, the gods will as well. It is a riddle carved of stone that the gods left for us. It shows a city of the clouds, with the Hyperion itself floating at its heart. It was a covenant the gods wished to form with us, to raise Idylla and the Hyperion with it. But the riddle is difficult, and we have no answer for it. This is not a ritual in a traditional sense. Never have we fallen so far. Never have we needed such an act of conviction. We must go to the Hyperion, which lies beneath the city of Idylla. It is the site of our great sin, and to be the site of our great absolution. We must act. You have come, good. We stand in a ground once hallowed beyond all things, now tainted by the excommunication of my people. Ever since that terrible day when arrogance and desperation brought about the disfavor of the gods, my followers have tended this place. Now come. We shall go to the antechamber of the Hyperion, the very spot where the sins of the Colossi were answered. The antechamber is the flawed design of Arcais. It was the means by which he sought to force the Hyperion to join the city. It was to do so using the spark of divine magic Athene placed into each of us, that these fragments combined would create a force equal to that of a god. Such power was never meant to be wielded by the unworthy. The energies struck back at Arcais, and the many assembled in his chamber, killing them. The end of this.
I am glad to see you survived the Terex Eries beckoned. And now I see that Anakatos is intent on fulfilling his whim. I would be careful. The temple is old. My soldiers are still dealing with the Jotun, but with Karunk dead, I can resume my other duties of keeping peace in these lands. Unfortunately, that includes this. Anakatos personally requested my guards, and I escort his followers here. I dislike this place. This cavern is nothing more than a tomb, a monument to Arcais and those that died following him to ruin. We learned definitively that all the trials we surmounted, all the strife we weathered in pursuit of Athene's love, had been in vain. But the most important lesson was learned by few. We cannot depend on the heavens to support us. We should make our own way in this world. Arcais and Anakatos have already shown me the delusions of faith. I only hope this farce is done with quickly. It is a dead end for my people. Just one more thing to distract them from the Teeth's troubles. Very well.
Much was ruined in that dark hour. The magics holding the paths together were unbound. Only the cipher can reorder such magics. Press ahead and set the path. Come. We must finish this. If you were curious, I could tell you more. Come. The antechamber, the end of this awaits. Come. We must finish this. Come. We have reached it. Beyond that stone is the Hyperion, the gift of the gods, the symbol of a covenant concluded. It rests out of reach, waiting for the day when the gods forgive our trespass, when they find us worthy again. Until now, I feared such a day would not come. We should begin. The gods visited this room once before. It seems only fit that you occupy their position. I will take my place where Arceus once stood. Long before, Arceus dared grasp the power of the gods and was judged according to his impudence. We act now as their analogues. In you, the gods visit this chamber once more. You shall stand where they appeared and made manifest their wrath. And I shall stand where Arceus stood and bore the brunt of their imminent will. It is where the former Primos, Arceus, bade the Hyperion to rise to join our city. Where the gods saw fit to condemn us for our hubris, it will be the altar of our forgiveness. The end of this awaits. Come, you have your position to attend to, and I have my own. Long before, Arceus dared grasp. In you, the gods visit this chamber once more. You shall stand, and I shall stand where Arceus stood. Come beckoned. Thank the gods! Praise be to them! After all this time, I bear witness to their confirmation. You have done so well, Beckoned, to bring the cipher to me, and to let me use its strength. With you, I can do what Arceus could not. Command the Hyperion. This chamber harnesses the magic needed to control the Hyperion. But before you appeared with the cipher, no force was sufficient. I knew that when we first met, when I first sensed the cipher, that I could unseal the Hyperion and command its power. Why else would the gods furnish you, whom I needed most in my lowest hour? I already do. You cannot know the agony of this decision. And I know that on this spot years before, the gods judged Idylla and its people unworthy. I will finally appease them. For I will use the energy of the Hyperion to destroy it. Once Idylla falls, I will forge from the ruins a people the gods approve of. I'm sorry. You must be a martyr to our cause, Beckoned. But it must be done.
beckoned. What has happened? Why are Onakatos' acolytes attacking us? What is he doing with the Hyperion? Destroy Idylla? No. That zealous fool. Have the loss of his gods driven him to such despair to use the beckoned and the cipher for such ends? We must make our way from this place. We cannot stop Onakatos from here. Take this shield. One of my soldiers dropped it when the Silent Choir ambushed us. I hope it protects you better. The Primos has lost his senses. If he thinks his actions will return the love of the gods, he's gone mad with grief. Curse the gods for leaving the thing here. Onakatos will use it to kill all of us. How if we cannot reach him? And we can do nothing to stop him if his worshippers kill us here. We must make for the surface, and hope that there is time enough for us to deal with him. Be cautious in these lands.